Come to order.
I never thought that my contracts would have such interest.
The Mayor and Alderman meeting for June 25th, and we will start by rising for a moment of silent prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
First item is the approval of the agenda, and we have been asked to take one item off of the agenda, and that is the last page, first reading on ordinance 1505 to rezone a portion of parcel 69. Anyway, we're going to take that off the agenda. There won't be any action taken, but a representative from Continental at that time would like to just make a statement. So we, I guess we need to make a motion to take it off.
Mayor, I think, just to jump in real quick, I think we want to make sure it's clear that they've asked for withdrawal of
Yes.
their application. It's not a postponement, it's not a deferral. It's actually a withdrawal. So they would have to come back and go through the whole process again if they wanted to do any other zonings in the future.
I'll move for approval with that change.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. This item is the mayor's report, and at this time, I need to reappoint some people to the Farragut Planning Commission, and that includes Noah Myers, Betty Digg, Louise Povlin, and Annette Brune. They are all, their terms have expired, and I'm reappointing them all to the Planning Commission. Next item then is Citizens Forum.
What about the alderman to the Farragut Planning Commission?
That's not up until next year.
Okay.
Next year, okay. Citizens Forum, do we have any signed up?
The people who have signed up tonight are for the rezoning
Okay,
line item.
so we'll take that up at that time. All right. So moving to approval of minutes from June 11th, 2015.
I was not present at that meeting, so
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from June 11.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We move to business items. First item is approval of an amendment to the Farragut Knox County Schools Education Relations Committee Charter.
Yes, sir. During the committee appointment process on June the 11th, a suggestion was made to reduce the number of the school relations committee members from 7 to 5. The proposed motion is to approve the reduction of the members for the Knox County Schools Education Relations Committee from 7 to 5 members.
No, just a question I have on this, and this is a general question, doesn't have to be specific to this particular committee, but I know for some of them, we've added some over the past, we've dialed some back. Would it be possible to say, instead of reducing it permanently, again, I know we could jack it back up later, but would we be better off to say a minimum number or give a range? I'm just asking the question for a point of clarity, whether it's this committee or any other one. Could we say it would need to be a minimum of 5 members and a maximum of 7, or could it just say a minimum of 5? The reason I say that is just to have the built-in flexibility, because I know what happens with some committees, not necessarily this one, but where a topic comes up that's going to take extended conversation, and then they go, you know what, we want to add a couple members. So is it even legally possible for us to say it will be a minimum of 5 members?
I think it's possible to say whatever you like. You can have a minimum or a maximum on either range of that. The main thing we look for is having a number that we could work off of for a quorum. When we have 7 slots and we know 2 right off the bat aren't filled, then that makes it difficult to get a quorum if a couple other members are absent. So that's why we were asking to amend it down to 5. But if you wanted to put a min and a max on there, we can and just fill a 5 for right now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask then that the motion be changed to read same, that it would be, for this committee, would be a minimum of 5 members and a maximum of 7.
Do we envision any complications that could arise from that?
I'd like to know the reason for why you're changing it.
From 7 to 5? I think the original intent is with 7 members, we did not get enough interest from the public to be on that committee. And so again, if we had 7 members, but only, say, 5 were on the committee actively, and 1 or 2 of those decided, couldn't make a meeting, then all of a sudden the meeting's not valid, that you couldn't have business conducted. So with 5, then you have a minimum or a maximum, a minimum of 3 could be present for a quorum.
Okay, thank you.
If we have a motion,
I move that we reduce.
Actually, Alderman Honkin made the motion, so we'll just
Okay.
need a second.
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Mayor, I'm not on the agenda to speak, but just as a matter of protocol, may I ask a question?
What is it related to?
The opposition to the rezoning, we wanted to speak in the citizens forum if possible, so that
Well, you
those people that are coming in support of that didn't have to stay through the whole meeting. Since the item has been removed from the agenda, we thought we could speak at the citizens forum rather than at that item.
What's your pleasure?
Well, it seems if these folks have come down and have a statement to make, it would. Well, I'm saying these folks have come to speak, make a statement in favor of their project. It would seem a shame if everybody got up and left before they had a chance to make their statement.
Wait, come on.
All right. The next item is approval of Resolution R-2015-04, declaring certain town property to be surplus property.
Yes, sir. The items is a 2004 F-550 bucket truck and the Smart Podium interactive displays, which used to sit on these tables, are all in working order and have a value greater than $100. Therefore, the items meet the criteria for surplus items. The town will be advertising the items on govdeals.com. The motion is to approve Resolution 2015-04, a resolution declaring certain town property surplus property.
I'll
I'm
move
a-
for approval.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item is approval of Tennessee Department of Environmental and Conservation Clean Tennessee Energy Grant.
Actually, Mayor, we have the appointment for the 2-year term of the Boarding and Zoning Appeals.
I skipped it, didn't I? All right, appointment of a 2-year term expiring June 2017 to the Farragut Board of Zoning Appeals.
Yes, sir. Jesse Bowling has applied for this BZA position. It's to fill an unexpired 2-year term. So the motion is to appoint Jess Bowling to a 2-year term expiring 2017 to the Farragut Board of Zoning Appeals.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now, approval of the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation Clean Tennessee Energy Grant.
I'm here. You don't have to say all of it. Yes, so I'm here today just to give you guys a quick overview. Back in January, we applied to the Clean Tennessee Energy Grant to replace all of the interior lighting in Town Hall to LED lights. That includes all of the overhead fixtures you guys see here, as well as upstairs and the rotunda and everything. There is $60,000 budgeted in this coming fiscal year's budget for this project, and we have been awarded $30,466.20 to go towards this project, which was a 50-50 match. So we'll also be installing in select rooms some occupancy sensors, the public restrooms, conference rooms, and some of the staff kitchen areas, so that the lights can go on and off as people enter and exit the rooms. It's expected that this project will save the town approximately $6,000 annually in energy and maintenance costs. So what we're asking today is that you just approve the grant contract so that we can move forward with planning this project.
What's that total price? 60,000?
Yes,
Okay.
So a 10-year payback.
yes.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you all very much.
Next item is approval of agreement with TDOT for development of CMAQ traffic signal improvement project.
Yes, let me start out by saying I have three agreements with TDOT tonight on the board's agenda, and I'm amazed that there's such interest in the community that everybody would turn out like this. You guys are great. Sorry, a little bit of levity.
Get your 15 minutes.
I got my 15 minutes right there. It took 20 seconds. No, this item is approval of an agreement with TDOT for a CMAQ-funded project, that is congestion mitigation air quality project for the retiming of all of our signals within the town. You'll recall that last year we requested this funding. It is 100% federal funding. With approval of this agreement with TDOT, we will go ahead and start working with the Office of Local Programs Development at TDOT for the selection of a consultant to do the traffic counts and the retiming, and well, no, this also includes a few hardware upgrades within some of our cabinets. Staff recommends approval of agreement 150059 for development of CMAQ traffic signal improvement project.
And I'll make a motion that we approve this.
Second.
And I have a question. Does this really mean you're going to be able to drive down Kingston Pike without stopping at a red light?
And now at midnight,
I found that at 2 o'clock and it didn't work. 2 a.m.
2 a.m., well, you should have called. Most people do.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Shouldn't be anybody opposed. Okay, the next one then is approval of agreement with TDOT for development of feasibility study for Parkside Drive Outlet Drive connector.
This project is a study for the feasibility and the benefits, possible benefits, of a north-south connector between Parkside Drive and Outlets Drive. Some people may remember that back in the early days of the planning stages of Parkside Drive and the Turkey Creek shopping area, there was discussion about a possible north-south connector from Parkside to Outlets, but at that time Outlets Drive had not been fully connected to the west. And also, I think the discussion probably centered on the idea of a separate interchange to serve Parkside Drive. Of course, interstate funding is always hard to come by. The second, it would a separate interchange with I-40 would take a tremendous amount of right-of-way, and that is very developable property, or it was at the time. Staff's belief is that including a north-south connector between the two roads would take a lot of the movements off of the ends of Parkside Drive at Campbell Station and Level Road, as well as the interchanges, and provide additional access to the Outlets Drive corridor, which is prime for development, actually, and zone commercial. So we feel like this is a very good project. All this project is at this time is a feasibility and benefits study to determine if it's something we need to move forward with. If, in fact, the study does prove that, we will be soliciting for additional funds through the TPO for additional phases with right-of-way and construction. But my thought on it is with a circulation study like this, we want to take a broad view of both interchanges and see how a north-south connector between those two roads could improve traffic movements at both interchanges. And essentially, I want to work this into a discussion about improvements at the Campbell Station I-40 interchange. So staff recommends approval of TDOT Agreement 150061 for development of traffic circulation and feasibility study involving north-south connection between Parkside Drive and Outlet Drive.
And who's paying the $100,000?
It's funded at $100,000.
By who?
That is STP funding on an 80-20 split. The town will be responsible for 20% of the 100,000. Now, I have spoken with Knox County and the city of Knoxville, who would also both benefit if this project were to come to fruition. At this point, we have verbal agreements that they would be willing to share the 20% local match.
So what do the blue lines signify on this drawing?
I'm not sure. I didn't provide the blue lines.
That's the town boundary. Town boundary.
Okay, because, yeah,
Okay.
it's my understanding we're looking to bring it in next to CarMax between the,
The other side of Carmel.
okay.
Right. In your packets, there was an aerial view that I had shown two possible locations, one between the Pinnacle and CarMax, the other on the western side of the Pinnacle. There may be other locations. I just chose those because they're kind of centrally located.
Okay, yeah, the one I was familiar with, actually, it looks like it is here. Because I had thought we were talking about
Is it
that.
between Steak and Shake and CarMax or on the other side, or either one?
Well, it's between the Pinnacle and CarMax. If you
Okay.
go just
Okay.
past the Pinnacle, that's one location.
I kind of like the one we already have across.
Mr. Smith, will the feasibility study actually talk about the actual location to put something, or will it just talk in generalities about putting a connector across?
I would want to get a recommendation on where it should
Location.
be.
Okay.
I think for $100,000, they ought to be able to give us a little bit of
Well,
indication.
it's a little broader study than just a standard TPR, which is TDOT requires TPR is a transportation planning report that is very basic. This would be a little broader because I want to include both interchanges and how it would benefit at both interchanges. So $100,000 should be reasonable for that type of a study.
Well, great. I think it's, has some wonderful potential. So do we have a motion? Any other
For approval.
second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item is approval of agreement with TDOT for development of a greenway project between Old Stage Road and Kingston Pike.
Yes, this is a project we have discussed at various times over the last few years. It's an extension of a greenway from Old Stage Road to Kingston Pike. It would be near McPhee Road at the Old Stage end and would extend across open space in Old Stage Hills subdivision. Would have to extend across 2 or 3 privately owned properties, but if successful, would extend up to Kingston Pike through the western barrel of the triple box bridge over Little Turkey Creek at Kingston Pike, and then tie into the existing sidewalk that was completed 3-4 years ago near Everett Road. The idea here is to have a crossing of Kingston Pike that is not, you're not competing with traffic on Kingston Pike. We feel like this is a very good idea for a greenway extension, and certainly doable. Staff's recommendation is approval of this TDOT agreement 150014 for development of a greenway extension project between Old Stage Road and Kingston Pike near Everett Road.
I would like to make an enthusiastic motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next one is approval of town attorney contract and rates.
Thank you, Mayor. Back in 1980, when the town was founded, David Rogers with the Kramer Vason Law Firm did an outstanding job of really helping with all the legal work and getting our town founded. And he was our first town attorney. And when he retired in 1998, our second town attorney, Tom Hale, was appointed and has been our town attorney ever since. The last time we looked at rates for our town attorney was back in 2006, so it's been almost 10 years now that we've had a consistent rates from our attorney, and they're asking for a slight adjustment to $235 an hour for partners, $180 an hour for senior associates, and $165 an hour for junior associates, starting July 1st of 2015. That's still well below what their typical rates are for other work that they do. But we would ask that those additional rates be approved for the upcoming fiscal year. And we do have money budgeted for that and should be able to absorb that in next year's budget. So we'd recommend approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the hourly rates because our town attorney, Tom Hell, has done a wonderful job for the town of Farragut, and we
I'll
should
second.
pass it.
Is there a second?
Yes. I do.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now we move to ordinances. First one is public hearing, second reading, ordinance 15-07 to rezone a portion of parcel 104, tax map 141, located at 421 Everett Road, 15.385 acres from R1 to R1 OSR Homestead Land Holdings LLC is the applicant.
This is part of the former Longworth property off Everett Road, just past Fox Run. And the requested zoning district is appropriate for this land in the staff's opinion. It was unanimously supported by the Planning Commission and on first reading, and the staff recommends approval of this rezoning on second reading.
Discussion.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And now we come to the item that has been withdrawn.
I have 3 speakers that have signed up tonight.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I object to any statements being made because there is not an agenda item before the board. Allowing him to speak, I think, would be out of order for the protocol.
Let's hear from the citizens.
Our first speaker is Michael Wilson at 333 Bernie Circle. Sorry.
Good evening. My name is Michael Wilson. I live at 333 Bernie Circle in the Baldwin Park subdivision. I'm here to make a brief comment on the Continental Properties application to rezone parcel 142069 from R2 to R6. In the interest of your time, I'm speaking on behalf of over 3,500 residents from numerous Farragut HOAs. As you can see, many of them are in attendance tonight in spite of being notified that this item had been removed from the agenda earlier today. We do not specifically have issue with the apartment developer, with the property that they intend to develop. Quite honestly, many of the local residents feel that it is a nice property. Our concern has been with the inconsistencies of the location of this property with respect to the comprehensive land use plan signed and adopted by the Planning Commission in 2012. You've been provided a copy of both a white paper and other documents, an email, or a PowerPoint presentation earlier this week that discussed these inconsistencies with the comprehensive land use plan. And all the residents of these HOAs in the town of Farragut are asking is that decisions regarding rezoning and development of vacant lots within the town of Farragut, that they be consistent with the comprehensive land use plan that the town of Farragut negotiated with the residents. And if we rezone this property to R6 and it is inconsistent with the inconsistencies to the comprehensive land use plan, our feeling is this sets a dangerous precedence within the town, as it's going to bind the town's hands that other development that may be inconsistent that are voted against would maybe possibly face legal action. So this is bigger than just these subdivisions from the North Ward that have these objections. And I would like to thank you for your time this evening, and we look forward to the future of what's going on with this piece of property and other vacant property. And I think the last comment that I would like to add is personally, I believe this property belongs in the the mixed-use town center. That's more appropriate density, and I would highly encourage the Municipal Planning Commission, the board here, to work with Continental Properties to identify a piece of property within that mixed-use town center that would better suit this density of property and would get us started working towards that strategy, one of the plan of completing that center for all the Farragut residents' use. To me, that would be a significant public benefit of bringing a property like this into town. Thank you.
Our second speaker is Mole Wyman, 528 Wyndham Hall Lane.
We need to keep our remarks to 5 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Maul Wyman, and I live at 528 Wyndham Hall Lane. I'm going to echo Michael Wilson's comments. This development needs to be in the mixed-use town center. You all recently adopted the mixed-use town center. The Planning Commission adopted it, and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen adopted it as an integral part of the land use plan and the comprehensive plan. It needs to be in the mixed-use town center. Let them build it there. They can go 4 stories, and they can build as many units as they deem feasible and as appropriate. Let this be a model in the mixed-use town center. Let them build it, and let it be a model for future development in the town center. Now, this is the 3rd delay on this rezoning. It was delayed twice at the Planning Commission, and now it's been withdrawn. The process has to start all over again. Okay? Don't, please, to the extent that you can, let them have the meeting, the Planning Commission hearing, and then come to the board. No more delays. It's not fair to the residents and the citizens of the town of Farragut to have these delays. And it's my understanding now, from what David Smoke was saying, is that we start the process all over again. So, again, this is appropriate in the town center. It's not appropriate on this property. If you put an R6 zone on this property, believe me, it'll set the precedent for succession on the rest of the 45 acres and the surrounding area. Thank you very much.
Our third speaker is Bob Cross. Did he leave?
I think I saw him leave earlier.
Leave? Okay. Christy Holsey.
Christy Hulsey, 11724 Weathervane Drive. I am the HOA president of the Village Green Homeowners Association. I am here on behalf of my constituents who voted me in as their president. They have asked me to come before you and express to you they do not, in any way, shape, or form, want to have this rezoning done. They agree with what Mull and what Mr. Williams also said, that they think it should belong in the town center. Thank you.
And our final speaker is John Nels at 221 Smith Road.
Could I come around and use your microphone? I actually am the one that shouted out the objection and didn't hear any action. What it was I object to allowing Continental Properties to make any kind of statement. There's no longer an agenda item before the board, and for them to make a statement not as a resident, I think right now it sounds like we're out of order on a citizens forum, but to allow them to make a statement when there's not an item before the board, I think would deprive the citizens of following or what they believe is following the procedure, the protocol to do that. So that was my objection to allowing Continental to make any kind of statement or presentation tonight. My original reason for coming up was there is a traffic study that has been off-cited on saying that there's no impact on Smith Road and Grigsby Chapel based on this proposed development. And in fact, the executive summary, which is the only thing that's ever submitted, the rest of the report is not submitted. I have read it carefully, and as I said before, I think it is woefully inadequate. It says here in the own executive summary is the purpose of this study was the evaluation of the traffic, operational, and safety impacts of the proposed residential development up on roadways in the vicinity of the site. Yet in the next paragraph, they said the primary conclusion of this study is that the traffic generated from this proposed multifamily residential development will not have a significant impact, negative impact on the intersections. They said they were going to study the roadways, and all they end up saying is that the two traffic lights can actually handle the traffic. Okay, that's fine. But to save the time, I won't go through all of the things that I found, which are really quite unbelievable. But I would ask, if this thing is ever cited again, that the members of the board read it carefully in its entirety. And in fact, there's only about 16 pages that matter. The rest of it is just simply appendix material on where the data came from the state. But thank you for your time.
That's all the speakers who have signed up.
Let me defer to Tom. David, can we allow the representative to speak?
Matter of fundamental fairness, the citizens have been allowed to speak, so I don't think it's appropriate to. I'm not going to get in an argument with anybody about this. The chairman is entitled to manage the agenda, and let's be fair about this. If the people are here and if they'd like to speak, they ask to be able to speak. You've asked to be able to speak. The board's heard you. I think it's only fair.
Thank you.
Because it's not an issue on the agenda.
But you're not on the agenda either.
Don't you guys want to find out what the guy wants to tell us?
Well, then I guess y'all could leave. I'd sure like to hear what they have to say.
Let me, as the town attorney, let me explain one thing. Everybody that comes in this room has rights. There's not just one group that has rights. Everybody that comes in here that makes applications, that wants to get an approval, that wants to speak to this body, they have rights. And if we start denying people their rights, just if we deny you your rights, we run the risk of the town getting sued. So let's just lay back and don't give people a reason to consider legal action against the town, please.
Did they request the item be withdrawn?
Yes, they withdrew it.
Right here.
I think they forfeited their right to speak.
Well, that may be your opinion, but it's not the opinion of the law.
What's the parliamentary protocol?
Come and speak, Ralph. Tell them.
Mayor, ultimately, it's up to the board. If you want to hear them to speak, then you can certainly allow them to speak.
All right, let's take a vote. Speak or not?
I'll say yes.
I think if somebody wants to invest $37 million in the town, and they've driven all the way down here and want to address this body, I'd sure like to hear what they have to say.
I think we should give, I want to know what they want to do and what they're going to do. I personally don't want the apartments on Smith Road, but I think we need to hear what the guy's going to tell us. That's only fair. Guys, be kind.
All right, Sarah Johnson will speak right now.
I will promise to keep this brief. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the board, and staff. My name is Sarah Johnson. I'm here representing Continental 333 Fund LLC, and I only thought it fair, beyond just withdrawing the application, that we give a reason why. We've been looking at this market for over a year now. We've found a site that we feel fits very well within the comprehensive plan and the land use map. We've consulted a local real estate attorney on the matter as well, who's in agreement. But we did hear from planning commission members. We heard from staff. We've heard from members of the board that there is a concern over the density. So rather than proceeding forward with our plan as originally intended, we wanted to do the right thing and go back to the drawing board, take a look at the density, take a look at the site plan layout, work with the property's owner, investigate those items, and come back with a new application. So we respectfully ask for the withdrawal. I appreciate everyone's feedback, and we look forward to coming back with a new application after we've had a chance to take a look at those items.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
They may be coming back. We
All
don't
right.
know. We know what we're dealing
We're
with.
now adjourned.
Have your
No, no.
Skip all that.
The town lawyer.
For our town.
How you been doing, buddy? Good to see you. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you. You're looking good. I lie a whole lot. Have you? You look good. You're looking good. Yeah.
What they're going to do. We need to know.
Bob, I hope you continue to man.
I guess not.